Heavy metals, what are they? How can they affect you? And what can you do to offset the effects of these heavy metals? Welcome to the Enhance Your Health podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Green, and you can join us each week where you will learn practical ways to enhance your overall health, physical and mental, along with special guest episodes from experts around the world. New episodes out each week on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for tips and action steps so that you can become the master of your health and life. And remember, this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. You should always check with a healthcare professional before trying any new health protocol. It's time to enhance your health. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you again for joining me this week. We have an exciting topic. We're going to talk about heavy metals, but let's start out with our quote of the week. This week's quote of the week is, "If you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness." Heavy quote, but so true. It's important to be preventative and proactive about your health so that you can live a long life full of quality life. Health is about function, not always about how you feel. It's about how you function, and it's important to take care of your wellness and do the things that you need to do to have the energy, the vitality, feel good, so you can do all the things that you want. So that's your reminder this week. What are heavy metals? Heavy metals are just that. They're metals, but there are some metals that can be toxic. Those metals include lead, cadmium, aluminum, mercury. We are exposed to heavy metals all the time in our environment, our outside environment, and also common household products, which we'll go over today, why it's important to replace these products and limit your exposure to these heavy metals. Everybody's body is different in how they detox and how efficiently they can detox, especially heavy metals. Yet anytime there's a buildup in these metals, it can cause unwanted effects and unwanted symptoms in an individual. People who live near oil refineries or mines or even farmland where they spray pesticides can all be exposed from the environment to heavy metals. And a lot of times it shows up in dust, so dust can carry heavy metals a lot as well. The most common way for heavy metals to get into the body is through the skin and also through ingestion. There are household products as well as our food. If we get food from bad sources or non-organic GMO food, things like that, they can even contain heavy metals from the pesticides and herbicides that they spray. It may seem impossible to completely reduce your exposure to heavy metals, and you are correct. It is. There are heavy metals everywhere. So many different things. We can't see them. They're in our carpet, and we'll go over other items and household things where heavy metals live. But it is impossible to completely reduce our exposure of heavy metals. We're going to go over why it's important to reduce the amount of heavy metals that you have and nutritional ways in which you can block these heavy metals or detox these heavy metals from your body, and even ways you can test it. One of the ways that heavy metals affects your body is through metabolism. So when you take in food, carbs, fats, proteins, you take these molecules in, your body breaks it down, and it actually turns those food molecules into energy, or ATP, which is the energy currency of your body. And it goes through this whole metabolic process, this whole cycle. It's called the Krebs cycle, or the citric acid cycle. And when you have a buildup of heavy metals, it can actually block those steps in your body so that your body isn't producing those energy molecules. And there is no energy molecules to get to your cells so they can work the way that they're supposed to. This is one of the effects of heavy metals, and it's a big one. It's the basic metabolic processes of your body, and they can actually get blocked when you have an overload of things like aluminum and these other metals that we talked about. And this goes for other metabolic processes in your body as well. Mercury. Mercury is a toxic heavy metal to the human body as well, and now is in our oceans, and it's found in the fish that people eat. Mercury has been linked to fatigue and poor memory and poor concentration and headaches and weakness. Cadmium. Cadmium, another toxic metal. High levels of it are in cigarettes as well as some jewelry, especially the cheaper kind of jewelry. They're cute, but they can contain heavy metals. Cadmium has been linked to many different types of cancers as well as organ toxicity. There are also studies with lead. Lead is a big one, especially with children and their developing nervous system. It can really affect children, and they found a correlation between lead and increased levels of lead and ADHD. There's so many other effects that these heavy metals have in our body. Overexposure to these metals can lead to things like anemia, fatigue, weakness, bone and joint pains, low blood pressure, nausea, as well as several vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Reducing the toxins found in our home and household products is a great way to reduce your exposure to these heavy metals. Like I mentioned, heavy metals can be found in herbicides that they use on produce, which is a really big reason why it's important to shop organic, go to farmers markets, shop in the organic section. These things are going to have less heavy metals if they're not using herbicides and pesticides. This next one is very surprising. Carpet. The carpet can actually hold a lot of heavy metals, and that is mostly due to bringing things from the outside. And your vacuum isn't strong enough to pick up these molecules. One way you can offset this is by leaving your shoes at the door. Just have a little shoe rack. We have a shoe rack. Leave your shoes at the door. Don't bring those heavy metals into your house. Remember, one of the ways that you can get heavy metals in your body is through your skin. So walking barefoot on your carpet after walking with your shoes, that can lead to exposure. Also, you can opt in for wood flooring or tile flooring. This is going to be a lot better as well, as it's not going to trap those heavy metals and those toxins into the carpeting. Another one of those heavy metals we want to avoid is aluminum. Aluminum is found in many types of cookware. They often use it for pots and pans, and if that gets scratched, then it can actually leach aluminum into your food. So try to use cast iron pots and pans. Those are the best. Teflon non-stick pans contain toxins as well, which is not very good for you. So cast iron pots and pans. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that your tap water is not always safe and can also have heavy metals as well. Things like lead and nickel, chromium, cadmium, all of these heavy metals can be found in your drinking water, just regular tap water. So it's important to have a filter that can filter out these heavy metals. Tap water can also contain residue of pharmaceutical drugs and fluoride and chlorine and all of these other things that can affect your health when you have too much of it. It puts stress on your body. I use a great water filter. I'm very happy with it. From all the research I've done on water filters, the Berkely water system is great. I'm not getting paid by them or anything. I just have one myself and I love it. It gets rid of all the heavy metals, any pharmaceuticals, bacteria, viruses, heavy metals, anything like that. It gets rid of it and it filters the water and it doesn't even take electricity. So check out Berkely filters. I think they're great, but do your research. Find a water filter that you like, that you feel comfortable with, that gets these heavy metals out of your water and can filter them out. Right, the next one is makeup. A lot of makeups also contain heavy metals, surprisingly enough. There was a study done at UC Berkeley where they tested 32 common drugstore makeup brands of lipsticks and lip gloss. In this study that they did, they found levels that were way above and beyond the safe levels of these heavy metals. Especially if you're reapplying every single day, it can absorb through your skin. So do your research. There's a lot of natural brands out there now. You can look and see if they're safe. There's more access to natural products, natural lip gloss and lipstick and other types of makeup. Do your research and find an ethical and clean makeup brand that you like and reduce that exposure to those heavy metals. Deodorant's another one. Deodorant often contains aluminum and you're putting it right on those lymph nodes. You have some main lymph nodes right in your armpits. So make sure that you're opting in for a more healthier alternative deodorant that does not contain aluminum. So make sure you're looking for that at the store as well. Cheaper jewelry often contains cadmium. Furniture can also expose you to heavy metals, especially if there's some kind of protective coating or a fire retardant on it. Those also contain heavy metals. It can increase your exposure. Now, don't get overwhelmed by this. I know that's a lot of things, and really it's impossible to completely eliminate heavy metals from your house and your household products. So just start with one thing. Maybe replace your deodorant or change out your makeup. Do one thing that is going to reduce your exposure. You don't have to do it all at once. Don't get overwhelmed. If you feel like you have been exposed to heavy metals, or you're just curious on what the heavy metal levels are in your body, there are different laboratory tests that you can do that will actually show you what the levels are in your body and whether a detox might be necessary for you. A lot of people want to just jump right into detoxing. I highly recommend that you do it with a healthcare professional with their guidance, and there are some steps that you want to take before that to kind of clear out the pathways for these heavy metals to exit. If you just go and try to detox these heavy metals without having a pathway for it to exit through your digestive tract and your skin especially, then you may actually get sick from detoxing from these metals because they're all floating around in your body with nowhere to go now. So it's really important. If you do want to get tested, I offer it in my virtual clinic. You can go to drmichellegreen.com and sign up for a one-on-one consult with myself, and we can look into this together and work together to help you get to a place where you're feeling great, having energy, and hopefully low levels of heavy metals within your body. So like I said, instead of just jumping right into detoxing and chelation therapy, which chelation therapy is the process of pulling those heavy metals and extracting those heavy metals out of your cells and out of your body. Before all of that, it's important to clean the pathways for which these metals to exit. So your skin and your digestive system. To start clearing out your skin pathways, it's really a good idea to take Epsom salt baths. If you have a bath, fill it up with warm water, put a cup to cup and a half of Epsom salts, and do that several times a week. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water while you're doing this in the bath and when you get out of the bath. That really helps as well. You can also add dry brushing to your routine as well. So before you get into that Epsom salt bath, get a dry brush, which is this little brush with these little bristles, and you brush your whole body. You're getting those lymph nodes to clear the pathways and to get moving, increasing your circulation. So when you do that, you want to brush from your toes to your heart, from your fingertips to your heart, and always go towards your heart. Cleaning out the gut, you could take probiotics. That really helps to build up good gut flora, and also spirulina or chlorella, which are algae. These are going to help to support the gut, and research also shows that it helps support heavy metal toxic overload in the brain, the kidneys, and the liver as well. But get that gut in a good place so that your body can detox much more efficiently, and you won't have some of the negative side effects you may have when you're shaking up all those heavy metals in your body. It's important to understand that you want to build your body up, give it all the good things that it needs before you start detoxing. And again, doing it with a healthcare professional, with their advisement and their supervision, it can be really successful for you. You just want to be able to do it correctly. Now, just like there are toxic heavy metals, you also have essential heavy metals. This includes zinc, selenium, iron, all the things that we want to get in our food and that we need to be healthy. This is really interesting. If you have ample amounts of these essential metals, like the ones I just mentioned, it will actually block the receptors that heavy metals would normally cling onto. Making sure that you're getting enough of those essential metals is important to reduce the amount of toxic heavy metals that can actually attach to the cells and attach within the body. That's another reason cast iron pots and pans are great in the kitchen to use, because you're also getting that essential iron within your diet. Let's talk about my favorite topic, food. Who doesn't love food? We're going to talk about some great foods that help to clear up toxic heavy metals or to reduce the impact of heavy metals. First one is cilantro. Cilantro is great at pulling those heavy metals out of the body, and there's a lot of research about it. Check it out. Another one is soybeans. There have been studies about soybeans that actually show that soybeans help to protect the heart and the arteries from heavy metal toxic buildup. Garlic. I love garlic. I'm a quarter Italian. Garlic is my friend. Garlic, in studies, it has been shown to help protect the body, especially the kidney, the liver, the blood, from heavy metal toxicity as well. And it has a protective mechanism against these things. Onions and ginger. They have been shown in different studies that they can actually protect against heavy metals in the kidneys and the reproductive system. Foods high in antioxidants such as green tea, grapes, tomatoes, they are also great protective mechanisms against increased loads of heavy metals, as well as turmeric. And for turmeric, pro tip here, if you have turmeric and you add pepper to it, so let's say you're seasoning your salad with some turmeric, add some pepper. Pepper is going to help absorb the turmeric into your body, so it has more of an effect on your body. Some people say you are what you eat, but really you are what you absorb. Exercising daily helps a lot too, even if it's a brisk walk, power walking through the neighborhood, whatever you prefer. Just the act of sweating, when you sweat, it helps to detox the body naturally as well. And again, if you suspect that you might have heavy metal toxic buildup in your system, you can get tested for these things. If you're curious or you think you may have heavy metal toxic buildup, check. It's important to check, and you have a right to know if you have metals that shouldn't be there roaming around in your body, creating havoc, creating brain fog or poor memory or headaches. You have the right to know, and you can get tested. There are laboratory tests that show if you have heavy metal buildup. In my online virtual clinic, the Enhanced Clinic, you can actually get tested for heavy metals if that is something that is needed for you, as well as different laboratory tests, food sensitivities, and things like that. So check it out, drmichellegreen.com. I would love to serve you, love to help you feel the best that you can be. That is my purpose. Now it is time for the challenge of the week. This week's challenge is very simple. After all that complicated information, very simple challenge of the week. Replace just one of those things I mentioned. Replace it with a better alternative, a safer alternative. Whether that be deodorant, get an aluminum-free deodorant. Changing out your makeup, getting a water filter, just do one of those things and it's going to reduce your toxicity from these heavy metals that we just talked about. Let me know how that goes. Let me know how you feel. Any feedback, anything like that, post it on social media at Dr. Michelle Green on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I would love to connect with you. And again, my website, drmichellegreen.com, where there's lots of different resources for you to learn more about your health so that you can enhance your health, feel the best you can, which you deserve, by the way, and be the best you can be. As always, click that subscribe button, hit that follow button, comment, like, share. If you know anybody that could benefit from this, please share it with them. It could really make a difference. I appreciate you guys joining me every week. You guys rock. You are awesome. You're an incredible healer. You're your most important healer. Don't forget that. It's time to enhance your health.